Hi guys! Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the mid-year calm down tag. This was created by Leandra last year, and so I thought I would do this kind of to balance out the freak out tag that I'm also doing. Either you have found this one and are vibing right now, that's good. If you need more of a freak out, then I'll link the other video down below. It has gone live at the same time as this one so that people have a choice if they want to freak out or calm down. And so if you haven't already and you want to, you can go check out that video as well. But we are here to stay calm. That is why I brought out the summer drink of choice for me. So good. So all of this is going to be a bit more chill, a bit more good vibes only kind of thing. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the first question of the tag. And that is thankfulness. What 2025 has given me thus far. I'm not gonna lie, for my Booktube channel, it has been ups and downs. I kind of had a time of like 2 months where I didn't post anything. And now I've only recently have gotten back into filming and also especially editing and putting content out there. And I want to thank every one of you who has stuck around and who keeps watching my content. So thank you for that. Okay, not thankful for the battery dying, but here we go. I'm very glad that different readathons were happening over the first 6 months. I think I did a readathon every month except May, if I'm correct. And that's not something new. I have been doing readathons a long while, but especially these last couple of months, I kind of found new content creators and new connections because of said readathons. And they were all so intricate and they all had so much effort behind them, and I just think these creators are amazing. I am gonna link all of the readathons that I participated in down below so you guys can check out the creators, but also maybe check out if you wanna take part in them in the next year, because most of them are annual readathons. Readathons really helped me with my reading, but also helped me realize where I need to take like a second to calm down and see that readathons are supposed to be fun, that everybody can kind of adapt them to their own reading pace. So a lot of the time in the past, I kind of wanted to stick to everything that the rules say and everything that needs to be done, and I wanted to do everything. And now I kind of make it work for myself and see it as an opportunity to be part of the community and be part of the live shows. Especially live shows have been everything to me these last few months. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't have any kind of live show on my TV, just to keep me company, just to be part of, like I said, the community and have these conversations in the live chats and everything. So thank you to all the creators, but also thank you to everybody participating in those live chats. It's always fun and I can't wait to see what comes up next. Kind of similar to the readathons, there is Patreons that I'm a part of, and especially Gavin's, but there are others that I dip in and out of. And so all of these creators, again, are amazing that they do extra things just for their patrons, and the way that they create even smaller bubbles that you can be part of. And it's really feels like a family in these chats and these conversations in these smaller groups of readers that all come together just because they love said creator and everything that goes with them. So it has just given me a lot over the last couple of months, and I want to say thank you, I love you, and I hope that I can be part of all of that for the rest of the year and longer. The next question, or the next prompt, is Relaxation, the most relaxing book that I've read. At this point, I need to say that some of my answers here will be the same books as over on the freakout tag, but nonetheless, I hope it's still interesting enough, and there will be other prompts, other questions that differ from what I told you in the book freakout tag. This one I have mentioned over there, and that is The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam. The way that it's a relaxing book is not only because it is fantasy, it is cozy fantasy. It is relaxing for me because I know the world. I know the characters. Most of them are callbacks from the first 2 books of the series. I had started the second book and kind of put it down for over a year. And then I got approved now for the new release that is coming out now in July. And I got approved for the ebook and also for the audiobook. So I went back and I continued book 2, finished that one finally. And it was a beautiful story, even if the love story itself wasn't my favorite of the 3. I still love the whole package, the whole found family aspect, everything. And again, that's why it's relaxing. It's a beautiful world that I can step back into and be part of and feel like I'm part of this found family. Going from book 2 straight into book 3, I flew through it. The audiobook for book 3 is amazing. Go check it out if you listen to audiobooks. It is very much a pleasure. I knew what I was getting into, but at the same time, it brought so many different new ways of looking at this concept of old and new gods, because we have a very new kind of character that we didn't have before. We have an immortal being that has been around for a very long time, and it's kind of sad that she's now stuck here while everybody that she loves ends up dying and leaving her behind. And I thought that was a beautiful way of looking, beautiful and tragic way of looking at this. And also just the love story itself was cute as well. Everything was perfect and exactly what I needed in the moment. Next up we have Hydration, a book that I needed. And for this question I'm going to mention 2 books. One of them is A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. This was exactly what I needed because I needed something soft, something beautiful, something not too much. Because a lot of the time, like romantasy or fantasy, it can be epic, it can be big, it can be loud, and I needed something different when I picked this one up. I needed to be in this world and be enchanted. I think enchanted is really the best word for this, because just the people that we meet, the main characters that we follow, the magic that is interwoven into the plot of this, it was just beautiful for the soul, and it was exactly the right time to read this for me. The same thing can be said for The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. These are very different, but at the times that I read them, they were exactly the right thing that I needed. And then with this one we have an epic fantasy that is set at a court where the next king is supposed to be crowned. There's a tournament going on, and the different sections of this political system, they all put their best foot forward into becoming the next king, but then one of them dies and this whole thing gets turned on its head. A murder mystery, we have the tournament aspect, we have court politics, we have lots of like gods and godly attitudes. It is beautiful because I kind of missed these epic fantasies that are kind of put in the background a lot of the time nowadays because there is so much romantasy in the forefront of everything. But this is everything that I needed at the moment, and overall just from a fantasy book. Highly recommend if you haven't already. Check this one out. The next prompt is Nourishment, and it asks for a book that energized me. And for that I picked a book that I have just recently read, and that is Death and Other Occupational Hazards by Veronica Dupont. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, sorry. And this was so much fun. I read this, I think, in 2 sittings because I couldn't put it down. It was so much fun. I laughed out loud. I thought it was so well done. In it, we follow Death when she learns that there is something that is called a sabbatical for the humans, where they just take time off their work and just focus on themselves. And she thinks that that's exactly what she needs, because humans are just a bother. They always depict her as a skeleton with a scythe, and that is just wrong. That's not her, and she just needs time for herself. So she goes on sabbatical. She goes and works as a human in her human body in London for a lawyer, like a law office. And there she gets to be human and interact as a human, and it's a lot of fun until she notices that they are part of a case where there's a death that happened that wasn't planned, and that is a problem because it can bring down the whole balance of it. And so she goes and investigates that murder. So again, we kind of have like a genre blend, humor, a bit of romance, a murder mystery, like cozy, almost cozy mystery. The thing that made it stand out is the way that the humor works for things that we think we know about death, about God. It's just funny the way that they depict these kinds of things. Like, Life is her sister, her biggest sister, who's annoying her but is also helping her a lot. Then we have the VP of communication, which is Jesus. We have the boss, which is of course God. The devil has also kind of rebranded himself, and it is fun because it's not just dumped on you. It is kind of, it comes up in different ways in the book, and it has a lot of humor. It has a lot of sarcastic moments, and I just ate it up. It was so much fun. It was exactly the kind of pick-me-up that I needed, and like I said, I flew through it. Again, go the audiobook route if you listen to audiobooks, because I had the arc for this, and I don't think the humor would have hit me as much or as perfectly if I didn't have the audiobook as well, because the narration is impeccable. It's amazing. It was so much fun, and I will read it again at some point because it was really well done. Next up, we have Familiarity, an author I've returned to, and with this I have two authors that I can't wait to see what they come up with next, because I'm definitely gonna pick them up. They are both gonna be auto-buy authors, I believe, and that is Sophie Kim. I read the sequel to The God in the Gumiho. I read The God in the Kishin. So much fun with it. Like with death and other occupational hazards, this one doesn't take itself too seriously. Sometimes it went a bit too much into that whole absurdity kind of storytelling, especially concerning the romance, but in other parts it was like spot on, and it made me cackle. So really fun way of kind of putting a spin on retellings of these Korean myths. And then on a very different end of the spectrum, we have Bad Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. Kylie Lee Baker does an amazing job, again, on bringing different cultures into like a modern take on them. In this one, we have a very dark view of the pandemic and what it did to Asian Americans and how they were treated. It is very dark. It is horror. It has very dark parts, so be aware of that going in. But the book itself, again, impeccable, beautifully written, hard to read a lot of the times, which is why it took me, I think, from January to last month, I believe, until I finished it, because I did have to put it down at some point because it was very, very much not the right time for me to read it. But once I continued and once I finished it, it was like, yes, yes, please give us more. This is a very talented author for sure. Next up, we have A Healthy Risk, and that is to talk about like when I went outside of my comfort zone and read something that I normally wouldn't have picked up, or a new to me author, something in that line. I didn't really go for the new author aspect of it. I went more into what did I pick up that I normally wouldn't have, which was maybe a good surprise, because we want to keep it light and fluffy and sweet here, and that is novellas. I usually like big books. I mean, more of these, please. At the same time, they're always so daunting that I don't pick them up. But I do like a bit more to my story. Sometimes I feel like with novellas or short stories, especially short stories, you can't really grasp the characters enough to feel for them. But I did have the exceptions to the rule, to my own rule, with the books that I picked up this year, because I felt so much in such a short amount of time, or like a short amount of pages. We had Veronica Roth's Arch Conspirator. I cried my eyes out. I didn't know the story that it's based on, so I was very much surprised. Wow, broke my heart, but it was beautiful. Then we have Powerful by Lauren Roberts. I very much did know the story because it is set at the same time as the first book in the series, and this is just a different POV that we follow, so I did know what was to come, but it still broke me. Then we have the series, I don't even know what the series is called, but it is a sci-fi series by Beth Revis, and I read How to Steal a Galaxy, which is, I believe, the third book in the series and the conclusion to the series. I reread the first two just to get into the new one, and I had so much fun going back. It is very much a heist story with a romance, and it is a lot of fun. Can highly recommend. I also read Bloodless Princess by Charlotte Bond. I wasn't really the biggest fan of that one, but I'm glad that I did read it. Love the cover, one of the most beautiful covers I read this year. And then also something very weird that I couldn't even tell you if it's a good or a bad weird, and that is sorry, I don't know the title right now because I have the German cover here that I put in my notes, but it's by Anne de Morrican. I'm gonna put the cover right here, and it is such a weird dystopian apocalyptic zombie-esque story, which is written in such a weird way that I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I experienced it, but it's weird. So if you like weird stories, that's it for you. With this example, it's good that it was only a short like novella, because I couldn't read 300 plus pages of this, but for the amount of pages that I had, it was perfect. So I think going forward I will try more novellas, because for example I love Murderbot. Again, I think the shorter books in this one work better than the longer books, so maybe it's just something that I overlooked all the years that I didn't read them. Next we have Reflection, and that is if I changed my reading taste, or is there something that I will change in my reading taste. And I mean, the novella part of it is still true, but looking back and looking forward into my reading year, I do believe that I need to continue something that I have been focusing on lately, and that is that it is okay for me to not read hyped books. I have been going more into why people hype a book before trying it myself. Sometimes I still try it because I kind of feel the FOMO, but I've been getting better at noticing why they say it's amazing. Like, first of all, I need to see if is it hyped because everybody's hauling the book and are excited to read it at some point in the future, or if they have already read the book and are hyping it, like why? Because especially with romantasy, I just know that my tastes differ to other people's feelings towards it, and so if I see certain ways of describing why they loved it that doesn't really fit with my reading taste, I'm getting better at saying, okay, maybe this isn't for me, because I don't want to hate on beloved books when I know it's just not something that is written for me. So I'm hoping to get better with that, and also kind of keep the FOMO out. And the same thing goes for DNFs, because sometimes I do read those hyped books and I notice right away that it isn't for me. The last book that happened with is Silver Elite. We all know the controversy around that book, which is also a thing why I kind of DNF'd it, because the whole time I was reading it, I was like, did AI do this? Is this AI written? And I couldn't let it go. And so I didn't want to read it. But also I noticed that the writing style wasn't for me. The way that the interactions and the characters were written wasn't for me. It very much was romantasy heavy, and in a way that the kind of romantasy that I don't like. So I knew right away, and I think I got maybe 10-20 pages into it and I DNF'd it, and I knew that that's it for me. Detox, which kind of goes with Reflection, and that is that a book or a habit that I'm leaving behind. And I think I messed it up before with Reflection. I think that was supposed to be looking back over the months, and now it's supposed to be looking into the future, but both work, because that is something that I have been doing and I'm hoping to do more of. And now looking at Detox and seeing like what I'm leaving behind, what I really don't want to do. I don't really have like one exact thing, but again, it goes more into the focus of things. I start a lot of books, I don't finish them, and I try to be better at picking those books up even after like having to put them down for some reason. I try to be better at picking them back up. I kind of make lists and kind of try to keep them in the forefront of my mind. I'm still not really good at it. I'm in between a lot of books, and so a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, I still wanted to continue with that book, or even I really enjoyed the first half of the book that I read, why have I never finished it? So that's kind of what I want to focus on. It's not something that I leave behind, except for like the unfinished part, but maybe being more positive or active, I want to keep picking these books back up or DNFing them for real if I notice that there was a reason why I put it down. Positivity. The positivity prompt is asking us for anticipated books or events. And in my mid-year book freak out tag, I did mention a lot of new releases that I'm excited for, but I'm also kind of freaked out about because they're coming out soon. and I have arcs for a lot of them, and that's kind of the freak out part because I need to get to them. So I'm quickly going to mention 2 books that I'm excited about that aren't really about the freak out, but just the excitement part. And the first one is something that has been out for a while, and that is A Fall Wilder Magic by Alison Saft. The reason that I'm excited for this now, even though it has been on my shelves for a couple of years, is that I read this book by her, and like I said, really enjoyed it. One of my favorite reads of the year, and I'm hoping that this is kind of similar in the vibe of it. I've heard people loving it, and I've heard other people reading her darker books and weren't really the biggest fans, and I do believe this goes more my way than the gothic creepy books that she wrote. So this hopefully gets read in the next month, because if it has the same exact vibe and effect on me, it has like 5-star potential. I think in this one we have more of a nature and mythical aspect to it, while this one was more at court and we had these kind of relationships. And with this one, I think the romance is also going to be very cute, because I think it is a reluctant team that needs to show what they can do. And the other book that I wanted to mention here, because positivity, is Last Tiger by the siblings Julia and Brad Reeve. I follow them on Instagram, and I love their depiction on their journey as writers, and that they wanted to do this for their grandparents because they have rewritten their grandparents' love story as a fantasy. And I think that is such a beautiful way of going about it. I do believe there's also a lot of Korean influence in this, and just the cover and the vibe of it is something that I will probably very much enjoy. So I knew for a long time that I wanted to get this right when it was released in July, but just last week I got the arc for it. So this was very much a surprise. I was giddy. I was sitting here, I was stomping my feet. I was like, ee! Ah! So yeah, really happy that I got it, and perfect timing, because going into my vacation next week, I believe it's gonna be a bit rainy, which not that great, but rainy days means reading days, and that will probably be one of the first fantasies that I'm gonna pick up. And then events that I'm excited for is that R.F. Kuang is coming to Hamburg in the fall, and I got tickets for the event and I can't wait. Also, I don't know how it happened, but I got pre-approved for Catabasis. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it. What is it with this author and titles that nobody can pronounce? But I got approved for it, and again, I'm like, when am I ever gonna read all of those books? But we don't want to freak out. That's not the tag that we're here for. So let's just go with the positivity that at any point that I want to, I can go ahead and read this book, and that makes me really happy. And with this one, we go into, I think, hell to help out a professor of the main characters. I don't know much else. We're just gonna go with it. Very much like dark academia, with a lot of like Babel vibes. And the last prompt is looking ahead with personal goals and plans. Like I mentioned before, readathons. Hello. Usually I'm like, I want to do 1 readathon, and then 3 more are announced and I want to do all of them. But right now I'm really excited for Summerween, which I have a lot of plans for. I want to do 3 parts. So 3 vlogs for that 8-day readathon. I've never done that before. I usually do like 1 vlog for the whole readathon. It's very much a new experience for me to not only vlog that much and keep vlogging the next day, but also at the same time trying to put out a video while still participating in the readathon. So we'll see how that goes. And then also next month starts the Harkyet, which is the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. Harkyet. It's a year-long one. There isn't one challenge, there are like multiple challenges. I think 25 challenges with multiple books that you need to read for each of them, and then you try to fit in all the books that you read over the year, and hopefully you can finish it, but it's probably not gonna happen because it is the hardest challenge. And I looked up the announcement video. Again, I'm gonna link it down below. It looks like so much fun. At the same time, it works for freak out because how? But at the same time, it works for this one because I'm probably not gonna make it. So let's just have fun with it. Again, already have plans for July to do a little bit for that one as well. And that's it. I don't really look ahead too much more. I just want to stay consistent. I'm hoping that something like February, March, where I just didn't do anything, will not happen again. So hopefully the creativity keeps flowing. I hope all of my ideas pan out, and I hope that you guys will stay with me and have fun with me and read with me, and let me know down in the comments what your answer to any of these questions would be, especially the thankful part. I would like to know. But that's it for this tag. Thank you, Leandra, for thinking of it. I think that is the perfect way of freaking out over here but keeping calm over here, and keep calm and keep reading. And if you want to check out the freak out tag, you can do that. I'm gonna link that up above and down below as well. And for the rest of the year and until next time, I hope we all have great reads. Bye!